So Donald Trump had a somewhat impromptu press conference following him voting early in the Florida Republican primary today for the Senate and the House of Representatives. And this interview was just very strange. Like, even in this short period of which he was talking to reporters, he managed to lie. He managed to double down on some conspiracy theories, and he just looks awful. I mean, these days, he's just not looking all that great. It's probably all the sleep that he's losing because Kamala Harris is now beating him in the presidential election. An amazing development for America, but a pretty terrible development for Donald Trump and his campaign. So I have some clips from this press conference to show you. Again, very weird, very strange, not great answers. But the first clip I want to show you is just him coming out and speaking to reporters for the first time. So take a look.
Mr. President, can you tell us about what the FBI told you?
Thank you very much. Great honor to vote. We're doing a fantastic job here, and we appreciate it. We think we're doing very well. We just had a poll that shows we're doing very well, and we have an interesting couple of months ahead of us. I'm going to North Carolina right now. We're going to speak on the economy.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. I mean, he does not look good there. Just very fatigued, very tired. And, it's the age at the end of the day. Republicans always used to talk about President Biden's age, saying, it couldn't allow him to govern. So now let's talk about Donald Trump's age. I think his age is holding him back. I mean, look at that right there. I think he's a tired old man who can't serve. I don't think he could go another 4 years. You know what I mean? But, even in that short period of time, he managed to really expose some hypocrisy and also lie just straight up. Like, he came out and said, well, we have some very good polls coming out for us today, which is not true. Actually, a variety of polls came out today showing that Kamala Harris was gaining in swing states around the country and that her national polling numbers have gone up. Her approval rating has gone up, whereas Donald Trump continues to decline. So I don't know what made-up poll that he's coming up with. Maybe it's something that his advisors told him privately to lift his spirits a little bit, but that's not a real poll. That's not something that's actually coming out. There are no good polls for Donald Trump right now. It doesn't mean that the race isn't tight. It doesn't mean that we stopped working, but Trump is just making it up. He's trying to rally the base, say, oh, no worries, we're in great shape, when obviously they're not. And the hypocrisy of this whole video we just saw, the blatant hypocrisy, is the fact that Donald Trump is early voting. He's early voting. Wait, hold on now. Republicans and MAGA told us that early voting was fraud, that if you early vote, your ballot's going to be taken from you, that somebody's going to rig the election, that early voting is unsecure, that you can't have any early voting, you just have to vote on election day and that's it. But now Donald Trump, former president of the United States, Republican nominee, is early voting, and when he was president of the United States, he used mail-in voting. So, MAGA is just so oblivious that they fall for this stuff, that Donald Trump tries to claim that early voting and mail-in voting is bad and fraud, and then he himself does it, and they can't even see that he's making a fool out of them. They just believe whatever he says, and then he does the opposite, and they don't care. They're still, no, early voting is bad. I mean, what nonsense. So anyway, he started to get into questions from reporters after his little walkout right there, and it became worse, if you can even believe it. The first question I want to show you, he was asked too about Kamala Harris's crowd size, but he was also asked about his hack on his campaign from allegedly Iran, and I just want to show you his answer. So take a look at that clip.
Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. What has the FBI told you about the hack on your campaign?
Well, they're looking at it, and they're doing it very professionally, and it looks like it's Iran doing it, because Iran is no friend of mine, and, a lot of bad signals get sent. But it looks like it's Iran doing it, and the reason is because I was strong on Iran, and I was protecting people in the Middle East that maybe they aren't so happy about that. So that's what it seems to be, Iran.
Is that what the FBI told you specifically, that it was Iran?
I don't want to say exactly, but it was Iran.
Yeah, so look, the only reason I'm showing you this clip is, of course, number one, there's absolutely no substance in his answer. He has said that it's been Iran this entire time, and he said that the FBI is working on it. And of course, I don't condone the hacking at all. I think we should be able to beat Donald Trump fair and square. We shouldn't have Iran helping us do that. We can do it here in the United States fair and square. But the main reason I'm showing you this is it's just the blatant hypocrisy. And you've probably seen this argument online recently, but, in 2016 with Hillary Clinton's campaign, remember when Donald Trump said, Russia, if you're listening, find those missing 30,000 emails. And then what do you know? All of these emails start getting leaked, and the media reported on it nonstop. And Donald Trump encouraged them to do so and cheered it on and then made fun of the DNC for not having apparently strong security. And now his campaign is getting hacked and these documents are being released and he calls it a travesty. Both are wrong. No campaign, no candidate should be hacked. But Donald Trump obviously has a double standard. Surprise, surprise, right? I mean, who could have seen that one coming? That Donald Trump doesn't have an equal standard for everybody. But, he'll cry and say, oh, Iran is so mean to me, and then encourage Russia and his buddies to try to find dirt on Joe Biden or dig up emails for Hillary Clinton. It's such nonsense. But of course, we hope that the FBI gets to the bottom of everything. Now, the final clip I want to show you is, as I mentioned earlier, the second question he was asked about Kamala Harris's crowd size, which recently he claimed was fake and it was AI. Who knows why? Take a look.
You said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who have proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics. We have crowds that nobody's ever seen before, and we continue to have that. We have a level of enthusiasm that nobody's seen before. They want to make America great again. That's what's happening. We're going to make it great again. Right now, we have a failing nation. We're in a failing nation and become in many ways a third world nation. And we're not going to let that happen. Thank you.
So that is what we call dodging the question. I mean, he didn't even answer it. She said, well, how do you feel about your false, now debunked claim about Kamala Harris's crowd being AI? And he says, well, I can't tell you about who was there or what was there, but I can tell you that we have the biggest crowds ever. That is a pivot. He pivot. He just dodged the question altogether, didn't answer it at all, because now, of course, it's been exposed that he's wrong and he's a liar. Again, what's new? Round two, who's surprised? Seriously, that Donald Trump is wrong again and that he lied, but he won't answer that question directly. He will never just say, you know what, I was wrong. I retract that statement. I shouldn't have made such a quick jump on it to claim that something wasn't fake or something was fake. I shouldn't have done that. He'll never do that. He'll never admit that he was wrong. He's not done that in his entire political career, and he's not going to start now. So instead, he just dodges the question. He says, well, I don't know who was there. And then he goes on to lie, saying, we have the biggest crowds in the history of American politics. What? I mean, does anybody remember that amazing picture in 2008 of President Obama's, or I should say candidate Obama at the time, his crowd in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri? 100,000 people showed up. Kamala Harris is having record rallies in Arizona and Wisconsin and Michigan, 10, 20, 30,000 people showing up for her rallies. So Trump is just, again, lying about his crowd sizes. This is all he does all day. Lie about the crowd sizes, lie about the polls, lie about this, lie about that. He simply cannot tell the truth. He's unable to. It's a symptom of MAGA. You suddenly are unable to tell the truth. And then, of course, in this clip, he goes on to attack America. Look, the Republicans have always claimed to be the party of patriotism, to the party of loving America. And now their candidate is calling America a third world nation. We're a failing country. Donald Trump says, well, I disagree. I think America's pretty great. I think we have the best country in the world. And I think our economy and our infrastructure and things are booming. But Donald Trump doesn't think so. He'd rather call us a third world nation, compare us to our enemies around the world and things like that. This guy doesn't like America. He likes himself, and that's what it is. We've known that for quite some time now. But quite a weird press conference, don't you think? He doesn't look good, as I mentioned. Doesn't look good, not looking great these days, looking very tired. And even when he's answering the questions, he's kind of low energy. He's repeating the same lies. This is not the Trump of 2016. The Republicans don't want to admit that, but we can all see it. We all know it's true. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of this press conference, quote unquote, that Donald Trump had today. Very weird stuff. So I'll wrap up the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe down below. It should be on your screen somewhere as well. It goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.